Let's go to this story now. Joburg residents are bracing themselves for sweltering heat and dry taps this long weekend. Rand Water is conducting a massive maintenance project to enhance its systems. The water utility says work on the Zwartkopies pump station has now been completed, but work on the Iconov pump station still continues. Zola, we understand more water tankers will be sent to dry areas in Johannesburg, and that's our reporter Zola Sholano, who is now joining us. A very good morning to you once again, Zola. And some of the concerns that have been raised by the residents as well around what time these water tankers arrive.
Well, yes, indeed, Aldrin. In fact, yesterday where we were in some parts of Soweto, residents were complaining that they have not seen water tankers being dispatched, meaning that it was really a dry Saturday for many who had to walk distances of over 10 kilometers to go to other parts that do have water at this moment, just to fill one bucket of water. And they were pleading with the water utility to not forget about them, as they say that they will not survive this weekend without water. But here in Little Falls, Roodepoort, we are seeing a JoJo tank that has been dispatched, but the queue is quite long, meaning that the water quickly runs out, and we are told that when it runs out, then it takes another day for the JoJo tank to be, refilled. But let's bring in the councillor just to tell us more about the challenges that people have been facing throughout this weekend. So thank you very much for your time. I mean, it must have been a difficult time yesterday, to be quite specific, because some people did not even receive these water tankers.
Yes, even though there's communication on paper where there's Joburg Water has listed where the locations will be for expected water tankers and JoJo tanks, there's been nothing on that paper. And what's also been frustrating is that Joburg Water is choosing other locations that's not on the paper that they published to distribute these water trucks and stuff. And therefore, if you're not connected to a WhatsApp group, or if you know someone that can communicate to you where they've seen a water truck, you will not be known where to go to get water. And it was a very hot day, and after numerous frustrations and noise, complaints to Joburg Water to say we're not seeing these Joburg Water trucks, we did discover that the filling area where they were filling up water ran out of water. Because as the maintenance continues, more areas lose water. So it had to be escalated to find Joburg Water to find a new filling station to fill up water of the water trucks, so that the water trucks can stop being dispatched. So we did see some water trucks only late evening when there was a storm also. So now not many people now want to, with hectic lightning as well, to try and stand and collect water with a storm on it around. So it was very, very challenging yesterday, and I hope today we're going to see better results of Joburg Water distributing the water trucks, etc.
You also mentioned that once this JoJo tank runs out of water, it takes another day to get it refilled.
Yeah, and that's also the frustrating thing, is that there should be at least one roaming water truck just focused on JoJo tanks, just to refill, or at least even more. I'm just trying to be as minimum as possible, trying to help Joburg Water have to do their operations. But it's really, really frustrating that when you say, okay, the JoJo is now empty, please can the truck be empty? You wait, and it's a couple of hours. Maybe they might come in the late evening, or it will be the next morning that they'll refill it again. That's why I say it's a day that it takes for these JoJo tanks, which is really, really frustrating, because a JoJo tank, I believe, it only holds about 2,000 litres. I may be wrong, but it's not much water to fill a whole wide community. And it's also, some people are coming far because they're so desperate, and if they can travel, if they hear that there's a water JoJo in some other suburb, they're willing to travel to try and get that water, just so that they can use that water for their own home.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one thing I picked up was that yesterday in Bramfisherville and Meadowlands, there were no water tankers at all. And this is a suburb area. There is a JoJo tank. Have you seen other informal settlements or other townships where people are complaining about not seeing these trucks?
So I know with JoJo tanks, they are concerned about vandalism, because some of them, they do get stolen as well, some of them parts, and we have seen some pictures of JoJo's being vandalized. So they do try and place the JoJo tanks into more where there's security around, just to at least watch over the JoJo tanks. But with the water trucks, I know they do try and prioritize them for the informal settlements. And then there's also informal settlements that they don't have water connections because they're still waiting for human settlements to upgrade that settlement too, so that there's infrastructure there. So they always daily throughout the year always have water trucks going to those areas. But I believe they also said that they're going to try and increase their water trucks by first delivering to those informal settlements, then thereafter going to suburbs and stuff where still lacking water trucks.
Thank you very much for your time, Councillor. Well, Aljan, that's the situation here in Little Falls. People from far make their way here because these JoJo tanks are not as many as people might have expected, understanding that this water shutdown has impacted quite a number of Gauteng residents. And the biggest plea from most of these residents is for the water utility to dispatch more JoJo tanks, or at least water tankers, so that they are able to have water until the entire process is complete. We know that Swartkopis has been complete maintenance there, has been complete, and now they are working on Aikenhof, and they had mentioned that they anticipate that most things will be back to normal by at least Monday. But I can tell you, Aljan, there's a lot of frustration on the ground, especially for those that do not have access to this JoJo tank that you see right behind me. They find themselves having to go buy water. And because many people are panic buying at this moment, you don't even find bottled water in convenience stores. That's how dire the situation is for most Gauteng residents. Back to you in studio.
Yeah, and all of this, Zola, also happening in suburbia. A lot of people would have never thought that you'd find people queuing up, long queues, just to go and collect water.